Thanks for watching this new episode of TCEA Remote Learning. Remember, you can find other videos at tcea.org/remote learning. My name is Miguel Gulen. I'm a Director of Professional Development for TCEA. You can find all my contact information on the screen. Feel free to reach out to me on Twitter at mglearn. Well, isn't it exciting? Thanks for joining me. I've been wanting to play this for quite a while. I really love this game. And I bet the kids will too. The problem is a lot of people do not know about it. Woohoo! Okay, I better stop. Hit pause on that and come back to it later. So I don't know if you've thought about encouraging your kids to engage in keyboarding, but when you think about keyboarding, it's pretty much a life skill. I remember I learned I went to typing class and learned how to type on a regular typewriter, and I think about the time that I got into teaching, we started getting rid of keyboarding classes. People saw them as unnecessary. Kids will learn how to type already on their own. Unfortunately, they do. They become thumb typists, and that has some poor effects on their hands, and also they are incredibly slow sometimes. I know we look at it and we think, wow, that's really fast, but someone who's learned how to get around on a keyboard is going to be a lot faster. Dr. Zeitz points out that transcription typing involves typing handwritten content, and generative typing involves composing original thought at the keyboard. A lot of us spend time actually creating content at the keyboard now, but when it comes to sort of typing it in, a lot of us are just sort of pecking at the keyboard and not taking full advantage of a lot of the great tools that are available to learn keyboarding. And what's kind of scary is that many of our children don't even learn how to type or keyboard on a keyboard. They learn on smaller devices, and by the time they get to middle school and high school, it may take forever for them to actually type something or write something on a keyboard. So I think it's probably pretty obvious by now that the recommendation is to get kids started as early as possible working on the keyboard. And I can't think of a better time to do this when they're at home remote learning. So so how do you get going with this? Well, there's a lot of ways that you can start. You can encourage them to type faster on their mobile phone. There's a lot of keyboard apps that you can use that will work, just like the Z-Type that I introduced you to earlier. That actually works on your mobile device on Android and iOS. But the truth is, we really want to push full-sized keyboard tutors. So in this episode, we're going to talk about a few of those and actually check them out. So you saw Z-Type. I sort of modeled that already. It really turns you into a starfighter pilot, and you're zapping letters and words, and it gets pretty complex. It reminds me of an old Apple IIe typing game that I used to play quite a while ago. I forgot what it was called now, but this is always pretty engaging, and because of the sound effects, it can really get you. Now, I think it's appropriate for younger kids, but you'll want to run this by parents and see if they go for it. Another one though that would certainly appeal to older learners might be the Typing Game of the Dead. I'm almost afraid to recommend that one, but you're wiping out a zombie horde but it requires Adobe Flash, which is sort of going away. So you'll have to decide which one is better for your particular audience. Now, SenseLang also relies on Adobe Flash, and as a result, it's probably not the best one to look at, but it does, as you can see, have a variety of lessons that you can check out. And as you can see, if you click on the Meteor game, it's pretty much done. I mean, there's not much you can do there, but there are other keyboarding tutorials if you click on SenseLang. And as you can see here, there's just different lessons that students can run through. You will be subject to a little bit of advertising, apparently, but there you go. And you can see you can do a single line or 3 lines at once. So this is not going to necessarily be the most exciting tool or keyboarding tutor that you can use, but it is something that kids can plod through if that's a desire. Typing Academy is another one that's kind of cool. It's you can sort of assess where you're at, take a typing test, and apparently I can't speak and type at the same time. It's kind of tough, but you get the idea. Now, I know you're probably thinking, why would I want to do this? But it's such a critical skill to for students to have, and I know that this is a debate that is as old as Mac or Windows, but definitely something to check out. The Peter's online typing course is has quite a bit of information. They not only have an intro video and an overview and everything else, but they also have some principles for effective learning, typing ergonomics, which fingers go where, and then there's tons of typing lessons. So if you really want to get your students working through this, you can probably wipe these all out by the end of the school year and check them out. Dancemat Typing is one that's geared towards younger learners. And close some windows here. You can see that you have a level 1, level 2, and it keeps on going. So this will probably be engaging for your K2 students, and they can sort of explore that. Now there are 2 additional ones that sort of threw at the end here for you to consider. Doorway Online, which you can just come right here to the blue bar, and they have single-handed typing, text type 3, or text type 2. So these are just different ones that you can use and explore and get going with. So there is actually, I guess my favorite one is the Z-Type, and so that's one that I would be using and encouraging kids to play with and explore. Probably also because it works on your mobile device. It is pretty friendly and easy to work with. So give these a shot, and if you have any questions or maybe you have a different insight, feel free to reach out to me. You can reach me on Twitter at mglearn. My email is mgulen@tcea.org. And of course, remember that you can visit the TCEA remote learning site at tca.org/remote learning. Thanks for watching, and look forward to chatting with you in the future.